So, patriotic comrades, me have a very interesting video we want to play for you. It's of a lady who is leveling some serious damning allegations and accusations against Rhoda Crawford and Andrew Holness, and she is claiming that she and Rhoda steal the leadership election between Ardley Shaw and Andrew Holness. And based on her claims, she said that when them realize the numbers are show say Holness cannot defeat Ardley Shaw and cannot win Ardley Shaw in a free and fair election, she quote Andrew as saying, "An ugly win is better than a pretty loss." Yes, allegedly, that's what she claims say Andrew say. So patriotic comrades, there's a very distinct and clear pattern developing and emerging here. We have 1997 when Holness at 25 just come in politics. You all would have seen and hear what happened then based on the previous video when we drop Ardley Shaw leadership election and 2025 general election. Those three elections have a lot of similarities and things in common. Those three elections are basically mirror copies of each other. So they say, fool me one time, shame on me. Fool me two times, I can't put the blame on you. Fool me three times, you can't fool me again. And me I go play the video of Ardley Shaw speaking, and I tell you everything that Andrew Holness did in that said election, that leadership election for JLP party leader. Me I gonna hear from Ardley Shaw himself, so stay tuned. So patriotic comrades, make sure you watch the video until the end, because me have a lot of receipts pan top of receipts.
You know the Christmas them are hungry because we just win the leadership election against Ardley Shaw. We just win the leadership election, you know. And you know who make Andrew win the leadership election there? We can't talk all of the things that I do for Andrew, because you now go judge me. When we realize from the voters list that there's a probability say him now go cross it properly. Andrew Holness tell we are ugly win is better than a pretty loss. So me and Rhoda now, Rhoda go in her teeth and she said, "Dre, me could go do some work." Now me say, "Where I go?" She said, "Dre, don't you have some friend at certain hotel?" The little janitor them, me say, "Yeah, me know the janitor them." And when me said that, she said, "Dre, you ready for play yin and yang? Yin and yang?" Me say, "What you mean yin and yang?" She said, "Good cop, bad cop." Me say, what you mean by that, Rhoda? Who you think make Andrew win? Who you think make Andrew win the leadership election there? And a Rhoda, I know. A Rhoda was the pretty girl. We go to the hotel room them. But I mean they behind the scenes. I change out Ardley Shaw shirt them. I put in the Andrew shirt them. I make people think say Andrew money, Ardley Shaw money win Andrew election. Yeah. We can't talk it now. Because them not a loyalty. We can't talk it now. So that the money where Ardley put up and wrap up in the shirt them. So when Ardley know on the day of the election, them people them put on Ardley shirt and go in. But when them a come out, them have on which shirt? The Andrew shirt. At them time the Daryl Vaz start cuss and say bumbo. And when Ardley run up and down, when the whole of the G2K people them say, "Oh, what is a change power? Oh, what is a change power?" Me and Rhoda in a one corner sit down and laugh off of them and say, "Frigga them." They never know say we now make we leader lose. We go to the ends of the earth to make we leader win. We say frigga, you know. Only the thing say money can win the election. No man. We go at the art of war and we go at the art. The art of politics and the art of strategy. And we learn on a strategy because we did plan smarty in on the camp art.
When Holness arrived on the grounds 30 minutes before the close of polls, his fans grew even more excited. However, the elections would not go as smoothly as planned. At one point, officials of the Electoral Office of Jamaica had to abandon their posts when Laborites wearing Holness labeled t-shirts overran the voting center.
7 busloads of people who are not delegates of this party. Mr. Holness joined them up there and walked through the crowd, overran the whole place, went down to the area for registration, overran that area. The electoral supervisors had to leave and abandon their station, and there was disruption for half an hour until we had to restore it and allow some more people to vote. Okay? What he has done is irresponsible and is outrageous and is unworthy of him as leader of the Jamaica Labour Party.
That out of the way, Team Shaw was soon in celebration mode when Warren Newby brought news that they were in for the win. But that celebration would be short-lived as Holness was declared the winner by 692 votes.
The winner of this election with 2,704 votes is Andrew Holness.
Both Holness and Shaw later told Laborites that democracy was alive and well in the JLP, with both men pledging to work together in the best interest of the party.
The customer with the green wristband.
My place of employment. And while he waited to be assisted, I noticed him. And I looked on his wrist. He was wearing a green armband. I thought to myself, nah, could never be a Laborite. He had on a beanie, a Monster energy drink beanie with the green and black color. So I'm thinking, yeah, maybe his armband is related to his beanie and maybe there's a Monster armband in my wear. Anyway, it so happened that he came to me to happen. When he came up to me, I said to him, can I see your armband? Showed it to me. The side he showed me had the letters L-I-V-E on it in like a yellow color. So I said to him, oh, I thought. He looked at me and go, it is what you think it is. You're PNP, right? I said, yes. He said, well, it is what it is. So he showed me the other side and it said JLP. And then he said to me, oh, you like or with teeth it? And I'm like, oh. It says, say less. Deal with him and then go about in business and say, cha. But hey, we don't know where I'm getting information from. Me have my own views, him have few views, you know what I say? But it was pretty interesting how that man just walk in there with him green armband and just tell me, say, how them teeth it. Anyway, blessings, you know, fair blessings.
So now me are going to hear from former Director of Elections, Orrit Fisher, and he must say, based on what transpired during this 2025 general election, he must say some serious actions need to be taken ASAP.
Former Director of Elections Orrit Fisher, in response to the PNP's call for an independent inquiry, he notes that the EOJ usually produces a detailed internal audit for both parties to review and assess.
During my time, the Director of Elections was required to produce a very detailed report on the election to the Commission. That would be done, within a year and a half. But given what we have heard, I would think that request would be very urgent and would be expected within weeks. Okay? And that report, both political parties, including the PNP, who are represented at the Commission, would be able to look at that report. And based on the findings, I think that the Commission itself may or may not decide to take that action of asking for an independent review.
At the party's headquarters in Kingston, People's National Party President Mark Golding addressed the media about what he calls troubling signs in the conduct of the September 3 election. Golding says while the party doesn't have enough evidence to mount a legal challenge against the outcome of the election, he is deeply concerned about the extensive use of state resources to impact the outcome of the election.
The massive political advertising paid for by ministries, departments and agencies of government during and up to election day at the cost of taxpayers to benefit the incumbent JLP administration is problematic.
Golding added that the PNP has other concerns about actions of the governing Jamaica Labour Party in the build-up to the election.
We're also concerned about the unprecedented scale of distribution of benefits, black tanks, fertilizer, building materials, cash, by both the state and the Jamaica Labour Party, and in some cases it's very different to distinguish one from the other.
The PNP is also raising concern about how the election was executed by the Electoral Office of Jamaica.
We think there should be an independent inquiry into the operation of the 2025 general election, and it should be urgently undertaken, with changes implemented for future elections, because we need to improve the processes. In particular, the process that results in hours-long waits at many polling stations by voters who turn out to vote.
As a solution to the issues raised, Golding says the PNP will be going into different constituencies to get first-hand information.
We will be sending teams into those constituencies which were most affected by these issues to conduct a field survey. This survey will empower Jamaicans who experience or witness these issues to share their experiences with us.
Akeem Oret, CVM News.
Also from the press conference, PNP President Mark Golding says he received advice from the party's lawyers who attended the final count that the magisterial recount was unlikely to change the outcome in any of the seats. But for the St. Andrew West Central seat, Golding says that seat is under critical observation by his lawyers.
The West Central St. Andrew, however, the nature of the irregularities which took place there is being carefully scrutinized in anticipation of a case being brought to the constituted authority for appropriate relief. I won't be able to answer more questions on that today. That matter is with our lawyers.
According to the PNP candidate for West Central St. Andrew, Paul Buchanan, the preliminary results bear no resemblance to the history and data of the constituency.
This constituency has 13,400 voters. And never before has the Mullines division recorded the numbers we were seeing in any general election.
Mr. Buchanan is alleging the irregularities were concentrated at the polling stations in areas considered People's National Party strongholds.
At DuPont in particular, the conflict in terms of the outturn or the outcome and the numbers, the preliminary numbers, could not be supported.
At the Taylor Basic School, the Mall Road cluster, more irregularities, he claims.
Again, there we had significant numbers, so much so that after a visit by Andrew Holness yesterday, voting was ordered stopped inexplicably.
He says his team is also investigating the strange removal of several boxes.
Is that there were some boxes over Seaward Drive or the Seaward School cluster that went to the polling station long after everywhere else in Jamaica, despite the fact that it was about 300 yards away or 300 meters away between Seaward School and the counting center. And when my attorney asked for an explanation, they said that the responsible person was sick. Now, we'll have to go into that as far as the sickness is concerned, or who was the responsible person, whether as a presiding officer. So the question will be asked. Again, at Drews Avenue, where another of our strong cluster of boxes. The pickup people took a route which is inexplicable. Instead of going straight from Mullines, coming up Mullines and go straight through to Bay Farm and Waltham to the counting center, they went through a hazardous path, a perilous path, down Olympic to drop off 2 policewomen. And we have witnesses of all these things. And through a throng of JLP, crowd and all of that, to 3 Mile and then up.
Mr. Buchanan is calling for a thorough investigation, but says he has not officially reported the matter to the EOJ as he's gathering evidence and will do so in a week. Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
Patriotic comrades, them say character is destiny. So we would have seen what Andrew Holness' character is from 1997 when he went up against Comrade Dr. Warren Blake. And based on the historical receipts, we all saw what happened there. So when someone shows you who they are the first time, believe them. And this goes for anything, whether friendship or relationship. So when you see someone who has no morals, no integrity, then guess what? Expect anything from them. Because someone who has the mindset to win by any means necessary will resort to any form of trickery, underhandedness. Them way go the extra mile for sabotage and undermine you in an election just for win. Because they are quoted as saying, "An ugly win is better than a pretty loss." So, patriotic comrades, tell me what you think about all of these damning allegations and accusations where this lady just leveled against Rhoda Crawford and Andrew Holness as it relates to that leadership election between Audley Shaw and Andrew Holness. We can clearly see that this is just a reoccurring pattern of history repeating itself. So all you have to do is just pay attention to the details. And when you really pay a keen and close attention, everything just start make sense, everything just fall in line, everything just makes perfect sense because you never did a look on the painting how you feel look on it because the painting was upside down all along. So now that you've seen the big picture, tell me what you really think in the comment section because the puzzle basically complete. We hear what happened during the Shaw election. We hear what happened when Holness just come into politics at 25 years old, and we see everything will transpire right in front of our very eyes and based on our own lived experience in a real life. What we go through on election day, first-hand experience and on a second-hand or third-hand account of people that tell you what go on. What we go through personally, we just know say, yo, this was a stolen election. This was not a free and fair election. So don't listen to the Labour right supporters. Them have to say what them have to say. Them delusionally gaslight themselves, believe what they want to believe and hear what they want to hear and see what they want to see. Because them have them own confirmation bias and they have them own cognitive bias for support all of that. So they must suffer from a serious case of cognitive bias. And them will tell us, oh, you know, just upon a witch hunt after Andrew Holness and he man not do nothing, man win the election fair and square. Fair and square my foot. Where the Labour right supporters them don't understand. When them go after them polling booth in a for them Labour right constituencies and Labour right strongholds, them vote in seconds as they go in, then do them voting and come out in seconds. That was not the PNP experience. Worse if we go in our colours. That's why I tell me patriotic comrades say, next election, wear neutral colours. Don't make them know who you vote for. Time come for the red wave. One Marky G, one PNP. Big up all my patriotic comrades.